And the last session of the day, and we've gone from a fireside chat to a panel discussion. And here at Startup Grind, we like to give you all flavors right across the spectrum. And now we're going to dive into a workshop. And we have an absolute esteemed guest who will be leading us in this workshop on how to actually set up and fund your crypto wallet and buy your first NFT. We have Sandy Carter, who is a senior vice president and channel chief responsible for driving new partnerships and integrations for Web3 over at Unstoppable Domains. Her mission is to onboard the world onto the decentralized web by building a blockchain-based identity platform. Sandy's an experienced executive, having held roles at AWS and IBM. And we're delighted to say, as a major benefit for you all attendees that are on this final workshop session, Unstoppable Domains will be, as a special thank you, will be providing $100 credit in free domains over at unstoppabledomains.com. This will all be shared for you in a follow-up email, so please be sure to look out for that email. And with that, over to you, Sandy.
Well, thank you so much, Finn. It's always an honor to be here with the Startup Grind. You guys are one of my very favorites. I was just telling you guys that earlier. And welcome to everybody out there who's listening to this. As Finn said, I just joined Unstoppable in December, and the Web2 world is quite fascinating and exhilarating. Getting started, though, is really important because Web3 is growing so fast. So what I thought I would do today is to walk you through a step-by-step workshop on how to get started with that first NFT purchase, setting up your domain, because that domain then gives you the gateway to the metaverse, if you would. Finn also mentioned that we're going to be giving away $100 credit so you can go and buy your own domain. So for instance, I have sandy.nft and sandy.crypto. You can look over the ones that match your name or your company and see what great domain that you can get. So thank you for that opportunity, Finn, and that will come as an offer in an email after the session. So again, thank you so much to the Startup Grind and to the team. Before I start, I also want to just make sure that you guys know I've got just a fabulous member of my team on the line. His name is Charlie Brooks, and he will be joining me for the Q&A session at the very end as well. Okay, so with that, let's get started on the wonderful world of Web3 with Unstoppable Domains. So my agenda is very simple. And again, this is your entryway into Web3, how you first create that Unstoppable account and how you buy that domain, how you install Metamask. Metamask, if you want to use crypto, will be your gateway also to buy NFT artwork and music and everything else. And then how you set that up for layer 2, and then how you mint, or how you make sure that your domain is actually usable. So if you just buy the domain, but you don't mint the domain, you can't use it. You have to buy it and then mint it as well. I should also mention that our gas fees are free. And gas fees are what you pay to use all those decentralized computers and servers out there. So you'll also notice that Unstoppable Domains is really interested in protecting the environment and ensure that we go carbon free as we're using and leveraging these resources that are out there. Okay, so let's start first with creating your Unstoppable Domain account. And so what I would love for you guys to do as you're sitting there today, if you guys could go to unstoppabledomains.com. And as you're up on the website, over in the right-hand portion of the website, you'll see a little button that says sign up or sign in. Now, I know some of you may already have a domain, so you may already have a login, so you can just sign in. If you're brand spanking new, you're going to be signing up. So if you guys could do that with me. And then once you get in there and you have a choice, you can sign up with an email address or with your own Gmail address. So you see the choice that I have here on the screen, sign up with an email or sign up with Google, which will take you to your normal Google email addresses. And Daniel's going to tell me if I'm going too fast or too slow. So you guys want me to speed up or slow down, make sure you put that information into the chat session as well. So then if you're going to sign up with your email, what you would do is enter your email in and then choose your password, create a password, and that will go into the field and you'll just click save. So if you already have an account, you'll go at the very bottom. If you're signing up for the first time, enter your email and then choose your password and then hit save. Now, this is really important for you as you're going through to create your domain. So then if you want to continue with Google instead, which is what I did, then what you're able to do is it'll prompt you to go ahead and fill in that Google email ID, which you'll type in here. And then you will hit next in order for you to get signed up as well. So now if you already have an account, you can see at the bottom, it asks you to sign into that Unstoppable Domains account. And depending on whether you used your email or your Google ID, then you will continue with the one that relates to how you chose to sign in with your email or with Google. So as you do that, you now should be into the Unstoppable Domains. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to buy an NFT domain, and your domain name in Web3 has a lot of superpowers. First of all, these domain names are really built so that you can, these domain names are built up so that you can leverage them and take them with you forever. So they're not something that gets to be renewed or you have to pay a subscription for. This is actually your domain name. They also are available on the blockchain, so anybody can leverage that with or without our permission, which is very powerful. And you can also now use this domain to sign into other applications. So for example, a metaverse, you can use that same domain name, or a financial application like Cook Financial, or a game. So you can leverage all of that as you move forward. Now, if you already have a domain name that you've used something for, like GoDaddy, GoDaddy is really a domain that's used in the Web2 world. This is a little different. First of all, you don't have to pay extra subscription costs on it. But this also now gets you into the Web3 world. So what you have with GoDaddy won't work in the Web3 world as we move forward. If you are a known brand, then you can just ping me and let me know that you have a known brand, and then we can get you that as well. You can go on my Twitter and DM me, Sandy_Carter, or you can just email me directly at sandy@unstoppabledomain.com. And as well, Charlie also just put his email there as well. Mine is simple, sandy@unstoppabledomains.com as well. Okay. Awesome. So now let's go on, and thank you for those questions. So I'm going to try to handle some of the questions as Daniel's pops those up to me too. So thank you, Daniel, for doing that. Makes it a lot more interactive. Okay, so then the first thing you'll need to do is you'll go out there and you'll search for your domain. And I saw that some of you have already done that. So you will use, you can't do Sandy space Carter, but you could do Sandy Carter as one word. And then, of course, there are some that are unavailable because they may be owned by someone else, or we may be reserving them. So we don't allow people to buy up a bunch of domains and stock them up if they're like Amazon.nft or Coke.x. So once you go out here, you can search on a name that you're looking for or that you want. So the next thing that you would do once you figure out a domain, and some of you may want to wait until you get your credit, but as you go in here, once you find the domain, you can just click on it and add it to the cart. So you can click on several or just one. So for example, I have sandy.crypto and sandy.nft. I've got sandyc.x and sandyc.wallet. So you may want to buy a few. I bought all these before I came over to Unstoppable as well. So if you have that store credit, or I guess I should say, when you get that $100 store credit, you can actually toggle over and use that store credit to pay for your domain. So as I said, some of you may want to wait to get the domain or go ahead and buy one. If the longer the name, the less the price. So if I did, Daniel Riley 111, that price would be less than if I did Sandy.x or .888. So the shorter, the more expensive they are. So then you can submit your payment. And again, I told you before, once you submit it, there are no renewal fees, no subscription. And so if you decide not to wait for your store credit, you can choose a lot of different options. This is also another big differentiator. A lot of places that you go to buy your domain, you must pay in crypto. But Unstoppable Domains also enables you to pay with PayPal or a credit card as you're moving forward. So you could enter a credit card in there. And if you're paying with crypto, then we'll also kind of talk through with that as well. So yes, I see one of the questions coming in. Can we use the $100 credit to pay for your name? Absolutely. That's why we're going to give you that $100 credit. And we hope that you're going to use that to buy maybe multiple names, depending upon depending upon how you're going to use and leverage if you're going to spend over that $100 limit or not. Now, for payments, as you're using crypto, we want to make sure that you're using main chains only. One of the ways that we recommend that you do this is through Metamask. So we just want you to be careful and cautious as you're going through with a crypto wallet, because you're actually going to put real money into that wallet. So now you have to go to a different site called Metamask.io. So before you remember we talked about you're going to buy your domain and then you want to mint the domain, but you have to link your domain up to your wallet. And that's part of the value of your digital identity. Your email and your wallet are now linked to that domain. And that's just kind of the first step of your digital identity. So make sure you're using the right site. There are lots of copycats out there, and we don't want you to get caught in using that particular use case. So again, for the credit, just so everybody knows, you will get the $100 credit that will be sent to you in an email after I speak. I think now had we known, we should have sent it out ahead of time, but we're going to send it to you after I speak. You can go through and use that credit as well. And there is a question here too, why use Unstoppable instead of ENS? So I would say you could use both. The market is really big. Some of the value propositions of Unstoppable Domains is, one, you don't have to pay a renewal or a subscription fee. Two, there are no gas fees, which means that you're not only saving money for yourself, but you're also saving the environment. And then three, with Unstoppable Domains, you can use any wallet. You don't have to just use, or any crypto. You don't have to just use Ethereum. But I don't want to say anything bad about ENS because I think it's great. If you have a .eth, you can also get a .nft or a .crypto as well, for sure. So let's continue on then. So now you're going to, hopefully I've given you enough time now to get to metamask.io. And you're not going to fall for any of those copycats that are out there. Now, hopefully you've got the right browser and the browser extension. So Brave is a Web3 browser. You can also use Firefox or Chrome. I typically find it easier for me. I use Firefox. I use Firefox for everything, by the way. So once you do that and you're going into Metamask, and Metamask has that cool fox. Hopefully you're seeing that fox move around too. It's kind of really cool. So now you're going to click on Get Started. And once you click on Get Started, what you want to do is you want to create your wallet. So you want to get up and get set up here and create wallet here on the right-hand side. So next we're going to create a wallet. And again, if I'm going too fast, let Daniel know. If I'm going too slow, let me know that. And then it's going to ask you and give you some warnings too. So you're going to get an address and you're going to get some words as well. And you'll always want to keep those, and you'll never, ever want to share those with anybody as well. So click I agree on this. And then you'll set up your password. Please don't put your password in the chat, but set up your password. Make sure you write it down. And then once you have your password, you're going to get this seed phrase. Now, for that seed phrase, that's going to be used to recover your assets if you ever forget your password. So I have mine. I have a password safe. I also bought a piece of hardware called Ledger. So I also store everything there as well. So make sure that you write that down. Write it down now. Do not wait. Make sure that you never share that seed phrase with anybody. So no legitimate company should ever ask you for that seed phrase. If they do not give it to them. And I would report them depending upon which tool you're on. I just had this happen to me in Discord the other day. Make sure that you do not give it to them and make sure that you report them as well, because that's a scam for sure. So hopefully you've now written down that seed phrase, put it in maybe 2 places in case you lose one of the places that you have, but make sure that it is definitely secure. Okay, so now you're going to set up your MetaMask for layer 2. And what this enables you to do is to link into the Polygon blockchain. So this enables you to both do your mint and manage your domain and also receive your Matic on the Polygon blockchain for MetaMask. There are several different choices for layer 2 at Unstoppable Domains. We've chosen to use and partner with Polygon as well. Okay, so now let's take a look as we're going on, and hopefully, Daniel, if you want to, if there are any questions coming through, let me know, or I know Charlie's going to jump over there as well. So now you're going to go into your network and you're going to click on the Ethereum mainnet at the very top of your MetaMask pop-up, and also select that customer RPC, that custom RPC down there at the very bottom. And once you get through that, then you'll see the fields that will pop up and you can type in Polygon for your RPC URL. This would be what you would type in, your chain ID of 137, and then your block explorer URL as well. So you may want to, if you're not doing this right now and you're going to wait for your $100 credit, make sure you take a screenshot of this slide. And I don't know if, Finn, we didn't talk ahead of time if you guys were going to be posting my slides as well or not, but if we could, then that would be awesome. So there is a question here. Why would I choose one domain over the other? It's really about your preference. I will tell you the most popular domain right now is .crypto. The fastest growing domain is NFT and .x. So currently the most popular domain is .crypto, but the fastest growing ones right now are .nft and .x. It really depends upon how you're going to use it and leverage it. Let's say that you have an NFT collection. I would advise you to leverage .nft. If you're going to be doing more with crypto, .crypto, and a lot of people just like .x because it sounds super cool. So you'll see a lot of celebrities using .x as well. Okay, so once you fill in those fields, and we're going to go on to the next one, whenever you want to manage these domains, make sure that you select Polygon out of those networks because we are using Polygon layer 2. So you want to make sure that you select that Polygon option. Yes, and I do have a question coming in here. So Polygon is another company. They're actually one of the top layer 2 companies. And Polygon is a partner of Unstoppable Domains. Yes, they are. Okay, so as you're getting ready to mint, there's a couple of things I just wanted to note for you. Your web page will need to be refreshed. So once you add that MetaMask extension, you can go to the left-hand side and just refresh the screen. For your protection, that MetaMask wallet has to be unlocked with your password. So not your seed phrase, but your password. So make sure that you have that password that's there. And MetaMask needs to be available for all of your sites. You can reset that as well. You want to have all of your other Web3 wallet extensions disabled. So you don't want multiple wallets. And I would make sure that you also have your pop-up blockers disabled. I had this when I first did this. I had my pop-ups blocked and I couldn't get in. So make sure your pop-up blockers are disabled. Okay, so now let's talk about minting your domain. Just as a reminder, we talked early on that once you buy your domain and you link it to your wallet, it's actually not ready to be used until you mint that domain. So this is a really important step as you move forward. And it's something that you want to make sure that you're doing and leveraging as well. And minting is just the process of turning a digital file into that NFT onto the blockchain. So minting is simply the process of turning that digital file into an NFT on the Ethereum blockchain. So that NFT will now be stored in a decentralized database, making it impossible for anyone else to edit, to or to delete. So you're now going to register this domain onto the blockchain into your wallet. So making sure that you are, again, turning that file now into an NFT. And you need to, if you don't mint your domain, you will not be able to use the domain. I know I've mentioned this before, but I just want to make sure that you know that. So you can't sell it, you can't gift it, you actually can't use it to log into anything. It's not really valuable until you do the minting of it. Once you mint it, you are then the rightful owner of that and nobody else has control over it, which is why if you don't save all your passwords and your seed phrase, then you won't be able to get access to that. So it's really important that you save those elements. Okay, so now let's start our minting. You're now going to log back into Unstoppable Domains. And this was really tricky for me. So let me make sure I show you this. So at the top of the Unstoppable Domains menu, there's a category that's called Domains. And if you click on that, you'll see a set of categories. So you'll see domain search and premium domains. Premium domains are things like Christmas.x or gaming.x. You see today, for example, we're having a premium domain auction with OpenSea to sell off some of those really hot domains. But if you move on down, you'll see My Domain. So anytime you want to go and look at your domains, you want to hit the box that says domains at the very top and then go into My Domains. So then you'll get a list of all those that you bought. If you bought one, you'll see one. If you bought multiples, you'll see multiples. And then over to the right, you're going to see that free mint. And that's where we have no gas fees, which is a fee that is typically charged to pay for all those decentralized servers. Because we use Polygon and really optimize that, we give that to you for free. So you see, hopefully you can see that free mint on that. And if you click on that free mint, and then it talks about what's going to happen, and then you hit continue. And as you embark on that unstoppable journey, it will then ask you to select the wallet that you've connected to that account, or if you want to use a different wallet, you can add a new wallet at this time as well. So Daniel, I haven't seen any questions for a while, so I'm hoping we're doing really good here. So because we started out with the Metamask wallet, we'll just continue with Metamask. You can see that, again, this is another value point for using Unstoppable Domains. You've got multiple choices of wallets. But we're going to select that MetaMask wallet. And then one of the things we're going to do is you're going to now, oops, sorry about that. Hang on one second. Let me go back. So now you're going to specify your address. And if you have multiple accounts, then make sure you select that one that you're going to leverage and use now. So select, usually you'll only have one at this point. If this is your first time through, you'll just have one. So you'll want to click on that one that you're using today and then click next with that. And then you're going to connect this to your account. And you can see, as we've done, we've blocked out the account so you can't copy it. So again, as I'm warning you, in this space, there are a lot of people who will try to scam you. I actually got taken once. I was trying to buy an NFT image And someone sent me a link. I asked for it in Discord and it was the wrong link. So I purchased something that was of no value and lost, about $100. So make sure you're very careful as you're using this. So now you're going to hit connect as you go through. And again, no gas fee, which means that we're protecting the environment as well. You're going to click the sign button at the lower right-hand side. And then as you do that, we do two-factor authentication. So you click that verification code and that will be sent to your email. And then once that verification code is emailed to you, you enter that in and then you confirm it. So whatever email you use, that's what you would click. You'd input in there and then add that verification code. So hopefully we're doing good. And then you have to go back now and see the wallet that you just added. You choose that wallet page. And now it's going to you're going to see a page that comes up and it's going to confirm that you understand that this domain will now be minted to that wallet. So if you had multiple wallets, you want to make sure that you're choosing the wallet that you want to mint that to. And if you've chosen those two correctly, then what you want to do is confirm in that area so that you can complete the two-factor authentication as well. And then the minting process starts. And many people ask me, well, how long will this take? And it really depends because you're using that decentralized web. Sometimes it can happen instantly. Sometimes it may take a little bit of time. So I always encourage people to click this track progress at the very bottom button here. And when you track that progress, what it does is it enables you to see what that status is and where that stands. So you can see here in my example, there's a domain, we're minting that domain. And you see this right here on kind of in maybe the bottom third of the page, it says pending. So that will be pending. Now you can go off and do other things. You don't have to wait for it. But when you check on it, that pending will eventually turn to completed, as you can see here as well. And again, sometimes it depends upon how much traffic is coming in. Remember, it's a decentralized web. So depending upon how much traffic is using that web at this time, it could take you a longer amount of time or instantly that you get yours minted. So this morning I did one instantly. The other day I was trying to mint a lazy lion to my NFT domain, and it took almost 4 hours for that to complete because the Web3 was very busy at that time. So now if you click the transaction number, so you can see that down here on my screen about halfway down, I've highlighted in red for you. If you click that, you'll be brought to the polygonscan.com. And so the NFTs on Polygon won't be showing up in your MetaMask yet. You should, though, be able to see it on the Unstoppable Domains website. So you can look at that and see that as well. And you can also see them on the ERC token tab as well for Polygon Explorer and on OpenSea. So for example, on OpenSea, I can see all of my Unstoppable Domain NFTs, as well as the collections that I bought from Nyla or from Fame Ladies or from Lazy Lions as well. Daniel, how are we doing on questions? We're okay? So far, so good? So hopefully you guys have done it now with that help. I think, hopefully all of you are now minted and ready to go. And hopefully that process was pretty easy. And this is your gateway, as we said, the gateway to the metaverse. So you've now taken that first step to enter Web3. And again, we are going to send to you your $100 credit. That will be emailed after the session, and Finn will make sure you guys get that. And we now would like to open it up for questions as well.
Andy, thank you so much. We're going to bring Charlie onto the stage as well. Charlie's been doing an incredible job answering many of the questions, and we'll dive in here. I know you may need to kind of drop off at some point, but
yeah.
We'll just kind of tackle some of the first ones that I've got coming up in here. So What are the differences between the domain extensions? Are there preferred extensions? I know you touched base a little bit on this depending if you're buying a portfolio of NFTs, you'd use .nft, but maybe for the audience, you can just reiterate that again, please.
Yeah, sure. So all of the extensions are super cool. I think I have all of them now in some form or fashion. .crypto is the #1 extension that's out there today. However, .nft and .x are quickly catching up. A lot of people who build an NFT collection of pictures use that .nft extension. And like I said, a lot of people who just want to be cool, that .x is what they're using. And we're seeing that for a lot of, a lot of the celebrities that are out there today. But choose what you like. I have friends that have chosen 888 because that's a special number for their culture and they like that. Some people have chosen .wallet because it's more human focused, not as Web3 techie. Any of them will do, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's just really your preference. What we would, though, love for you to do, Finn, is if you do choose that .nft or .crypto or .x, whatever you choose, we would love for you to go on Twitter, if you have a Twitter handle, and you can change your profile name. So not your Twitter name, but your profile name. And if you put, Sandy.x, Sandy.crypto, not mine, put yours. So we'll say Finn, let's do Finn.x or Finn.crypto or whatever yours is on that Twitter. Then that also shows that you're part of the Unstoppable Domain family. And it also signals to everyone out there that you've entered Web3. And I would also just say, if you could copy on maybe one of your tweets, @Unstoppable Domains, then that will also get you invited to a couple of our Twitter channels as well. That will get you a lot more followers too. Kind of fun.
Okay, we had a question here about hosting. I know, Charlie, you did an incredible job tackling all the questions in there. So how does hosting work? Does hosting typically work similar to standard web hosting, or is there special Web3 hosting?
Right. So hosting is done on IPFS, which is a decentralized network, which is great because it has a lot of the advantages that Web3 does, like avoiding centralized servers. So if you think about when GoDaddy got hacked, millions of accounts were hacked as well. So being able to store content on a decentralized network has a lot of great advantages that we're super excited about.
Brilliant. And thank you once again to Sandy. I know she has to drop. So just as a reiteration for those that are asking, we will include the slides in the follow-up email that we will send with the link to obviously the credit. So please be sure to kind of look out for that. I am just scrolling through a few more of the other questions here. Okay, so what's the use case with a minted domain name on Web3? What can you do with it?
Absolutely. Well, the big one that we start out with is simplifying crypto payments. So if you think about sending crypto, you look in a wallet, you're copy and pasting a long alphanumeric address, right? It's a little scary. It's not very intuitive. There's great security behind it, but long-term doesn't make a lot of sense. You're not going to tell your friends, send me money to 0xEY24. It just doesn't make sense. So the first use case for us was simplifying crypto payments, meaning you can attach all the different crypto addresses to your domain. So you can tell your friends, hey, send me crypto to charlie.crypto. And that brings a human readable address to the equation, similar to Venmo. Everyone likes Venmo. You can say, here's my Venmo name. Venmo does not have interoperability. So if you want to send to Venmo, both people have to have Venmo. With crypto payments, a domain can work across chain in hundreds of different applications. We're all in all the big major wallets. So simplifying crypto payments is a big one. The next would be hosting a website that you own forever. Having a .crypto that's yours, no one can take it away, is really powerful, especially if you think about some of the Web2 issues around domain squatting. We've all seen horror stories of a company that doesn't renew their .com, and then right at the stroke of midnight, someone can buy that .com and hold them hostage to get their domain back. So we do a lot of work to protect domains that are trademarked. But also we think that it's really powerful to own your domain forever and not have to worry about annual fees being paid to sort of a middleman company. And then the third use case, which is probably the biggest and kind of most impactful, is the ability to use your domain as your digital identity. So if you think about Web 2, all of us probably have 80 plus usernames and passwords, right? You go to a site, Facebook, Google, whatever, you're creating a new account, a new name, new password for each one. You know, some people store the information in their notes in their phone, or they use a password manager. These are all band-aids for a situation that isn't tenable and doesn't make a lot of sense if you think about longer term use for the internet in general. Why do we need different usernames and passwords? It's a mess to remember. We're always constantly forgetting, you know, making new passwords, going through that whole process. So having a domain means that you can now verify your identity using the blockchain technology so that you know for sure when you're signing into apps and they know that you're a unique user. And that's done through your wallet address and tying to an email address. We have KYC being rolled out for that feature as well. So basically, you're going to start seeing Logathon Unstoppable as one of those methods for login instead of Google, where, you know, Google sign-on is great, it's super easy to use, but Google is selling all of your data, right? There's a reason that they provide these products. You are the product. So our sign-on enables users to control their data. So when you go to an app on Web3, you'll be able to say, okay, I'm willing to share my email and I'm willing to share my location to this DApp because I trust them. Or you can use contracts, smart contracts, to say, you know, I'm willing to give you my email, but I won't give you my address. I will prove to you that I'm in the United States if that's something you need, but I won't actually share that information with you. So you won't be able to collect it and I won't get junk mail, you know, in my inbox a month from now. So we think that digital identity is kind of the biggest play for domains. You'll be able to use your domain for everything, log in across Web3, and eventually even sell your data. So if you want to, eventually you'll be able to say, okay, yes, I'm willing to share my data with, you know, these brands or these aggregators because they're going to pay me. So they can pay you, the user, instead of paying the ad networks, the aggregators that we're used to, the Facebook, the Google, all those middlemen that are making ad revenue. You know, there's a reason they are, and it's because they're using your data, they're selling your data. So we want Web3 to kind of clean up that process for users, put users first, and let them profit off their data if they want to, because, you know, if someone's already making money off of your data, it might as well be you if you want to.
Absolutely. That is incredibly powerful, and it goes back to what I shared in the welcome presentation, right, around, you know, that first Web 1 was all about all of us getting email addresses, right? And we had these unique email addresses, and it was powerful. And yes, you could set up, in many instances, set up an email address for free, or getting a hotmail.com email address became a big thing, and a gmail.com email address was a big thing. And then Web 2 was all about social media usernames, right? And, you know, if you could actually get your name, you know, like Twitter @Jack was super incredible. So
right.
This Web3 iteration of saying you can actually get your own domain name, which is your own identity across the web, which will have many use cases and applications, is absolutely powerful. We'll probably have just time for one or two more questions here. We say, you mentioned trademark domains.
Right.
What's the dispute policy for domains that infringe on other people's rights? And this is definitely quite important, especially where we've seen this happen in the Web 2 space.
Sure. Yeah, we have a process. You know, there are patents out there. So if you have patents, if you own trademarks, we take all that into account, just like with Web 2. We do a ton of work on the back end to protect all those domains. So it's pretty rare that we have a clash where there are multiple trademark holders. It can happen because, you know, we're a global company, and if someone owns you know, the trademark to cars.com, or, you know, cars, and they're in Asia, and then someone's claiming the same thing for the US, that can be a little trickier, and we sort of take those on a case-by-case basis. We do offer 10 different extensions, so sometimes we'll offer one to one brand and the other to the other if there isn't a clear path to who is kind of the true owner. But for the most part, it's pretty easy to know who the rightful owner is. We want domains to be in the rightful owner's hands. You know, that's a big part of why we protect all those trademarks, because once you own a domain, no one can take it away from you, right? So we need to make sure that domains are in the proper hands. When a company reaches out to us, we do a lot of vetting to make sure that it's the appropriate person at that company, just so that domains don't fall in the wrong hands, because you will own them forever.
And with that, just given time, we will wrap here. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Charlie, and of course, Sandy, for an incredible presentation. Once again, as a quick reminder, you will get a copy of the recordings and the slides. Look out for the emails, and of course there'll be that $100 credit. One quick question, Charlie, how long does the $100 credit last? Because that was one of the questions in the chat.
Yeah, I'll make sure that it lasts forever. So, you know,
Okay.
obviously, sooner the better.
There you go. $100
Yeah.
lasts forever, but hopefully you can use it to secure your identity sooner rather than later, for sure.
Absolutely. And, you know, I will mention that we have a lot of cool integrations that use our domains, including the login feature and also resolving domains. So if there are any developers out there that want to chat, please reach out to me. I'm on Telegram at CharlieBrooks1, and my email is charlie.brooks@unstoppabledomains.com. And we'd love to chat with you all.